Over the past few months, I've been renovating our rainforest art studio. I've renovated the bathroom, the main art studio space, the loft bedroom, the storage room, and now it's time for the kitchen.
So this is the kitchen, which is a really nice area, except that it's all done pretty badly. So I'm going to fix it all up today. Well, I'm going to start to fix it all up. I'm going to put this little shelf in there at some point. I hope it'll fit. I might have to adjust some things. And then I'm going to make some doors. I'm going to remove this because this drawer is just so badly made. It doesn't open and all of the critters get in. So it's not great. So I'm just going to remove that completely. And then I'm going to add some nice hardwood doors here and here. And then I'm going to fix these doors so that they actually close and they don't open. And then I'm done. So the first job is to remove these old drawers, and I'm going to try to save as much of them as possible, but they are just plywood, so I think most of it's going to be rubbish, which is really sad, and that's kind of why I use nice hardwood and nice old materials, because it lasts so much longer and you don't just throw things out.
This whole art studio is mostly built from second-hand old materials. I think sometimes I take the beautiful hardwood beams and droomy floorboards for granted. Using old materials doesn't just look 1,000 times better, but it also does so much for the environment. These drawers are made from plywood, and while composite wood's production can be less energy intensive than other alternatives, the synthetic glues used means that it's not biodegradable and cannot break down back into the earth. The best building technique with the lowest impact is just to use what you already have, not creating any more production energy or waste. This is a bedside table that our Oma had years and years ago. Since, Julia has taken it to share houses when she lived in the city. We used it as a record player stand, and now I think it looks great as kitchen storage.
So the next job is to make doors that go like this out of these nice hardwood floorboards. So this is a big piece of glass which I can't move because it's really big and heavy and fragile and I don't want it to break. But the tool that I need is over there, so it's kind of like playing an arcade game. Like you gotta like... Ooh. Okay. Ooh. Oh. Yay! I hope this is the tool that I need. It looks right.
A neighbour's floor was flooded in one of those massive storms a few weeks ago, so I helped pull up the old hardwood flooring and saved its remnants. Some was in pretty good condition, so I'm saving it for a few other projects, but this stuff was the worst of it, and at the time I discarded the small cuts with water damage. But now I realise that it's perfect for cupboard doors. It feels so good to use someone else's waste to create beauty. I think the scratches and drill holes will just give the doors more character, reminding the viewer that these boards have had many lives before. I'm using our trusty and rusty drop saw to cut all of the pieces to size. Happy the duck loves swimming with humans, so I've been taking her on lots of adventures. The lake in the center of the farm is maybe my favorite spot for swimming in the whole world. We grew up eating mangoes on these banks, building tree houses everywhere and learning to swim in this fresh water. The afternoon light dances in the reflections, and it reminds me of the many summers before spent in these waters. This year we got no mangoes because we've had so much rain. But as kids, sometimes we would harvest thousands of mangoes and lychees across the other side and then camp here with a diet of mostly fresh fruit. We would swim and play all day, building tree houses and rope swings or learning to do backflips into the water. I don't quite have the same boundless energy of a child, but this summer I've been swimming lots. In the afternoon, when the humidity gets too much, you'll find me down here, floating and watching the birds fly over or playing with Happy the duck. You like that dog? Come on. It's time to go home. It's time to go home. Oh, you don't want to. You don't want to.
So I've never actually made a door like this before. I've made lots of gates and things like doors, but the thing is that this has to be so much more neat because on top of it has to actually line up. So I don't know if I was supposed to cut that after I made it or before, but I cut it before because I don't really have a tool to cut it after. But my next problem is I don't know how to, like the floorboards aren't the equal length, so that they're not going to meet in the middle. They're either going to be too long or too short, so I need to cut one of the boards down the center. And I just don't know how to do that and what tool I would use, or if I even have the tool to use. I don't know if this is a good idea, but it's my only idea, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to slice this with a jigsaw down the center of it, which the more I think of it, the more of a bad idea it seems, but it's just going to have to happen because I don't know what else to do. Yes. Try to work out this clue. Alright, that is not gonna work. It's going terribly. It's really wobbly and it's just not gonna work. So I don't know what my next option is. So I've decided to not cut a board down the center, and instead I'm just gonna have one of the doors a little bit longer, and I'm just going to attach them from a different point so that they will meet in the center. I think that's a good solution because I don't have the tools. Can you keep this still? Yeah? You step in it and you keep it still. Oh, you put it in the wrong spot. Yeah, good boy. Yeah, you keep that there.
I think that never having the right tools is definitely the hardest thing about this whole project, but in some ways it's also taught me a lot because I have to really think of a different path each time. It always pushes me into finding different options and experimenting with weird building techniques. Luckily, Clover is always close by to distract me from the frustration. This project is getting so close to being finished now, and I can't believe how far it has come. At the start of this build, the whole shed was leaking and damp, and everything seemed so unachievable. But now, with just a few little projects left and the vision almost complete, I just can't believe how far we have come. The goats have a massive paddock in the summer. We open up lots of gates so that they have free range to eat whatever they want most days, because in these months when there's so much grass, they instinctively rotationally graze. Always eating a little bit of this and a little bit of that and then moving on. But whenever I'm working at the studio, they make sure to be nearby. Each time they hear a drill, they seem to come and hang out.
I'm going to recut this now because I think I cut it a bit at the wrong angle.
Making a gate was actually one of my first building projects. Mum taught me, and I remember the feeling of everything coming together so simply, and suddenly a few old palings turned into a beautiful, functioning gate. This feels like a meaningful moment, building these doors in the same style so many years later, and my skills have definitely improved, even if there's still a long way to go.
I'm feeling very proud. The whole time I was making that, it felt like it was going to be really ugly, but it's beautiful. I'm really proud.
On these long days of building, I always make sure to slow down and spend some time with animals. It feels like a recharge to just sit in the paddock with the ducks and chickens by my side. But at the moment, the ducks are really obsessed with food because I changed their feed, so they run to bed early and quack, asking for their food. I'm measuring each diagonal length to check that they are all square.
So I know that there's one way that you're supposed to do the Z on the back of the doors that makes it more stable, but no matter how hard I try, I always get it wrong. But I think this time I've got it right. Ready? No, you can't be on top of it. You can't be on top of it. No, no, you're too heavy. You're too heavy. Get that paw up. Get that paw. No, you're too heavy. Wait. Oh. So my problem is that it looks like it's quite tight on this side, but not tight on that side, and I think it's less about my measurements, which were a little bit dodgy, but more about I think that the whole bench isn't measured right. Like I think it's a bit wonky everywhere. But I think I'm still just going to hang them and hopefully you won't really notice. I'm going to use these tiles to create like a little layer underneath that's all the same thinness so that they'll all have the same swing. Okay, so I have a problem. This is a little bit too high. I guess this measurement I just wasn't completely right on. And I need it to be able to swing at the bottom, so I need it to sit up a little bit. I thought I allowed like a full centimetre to do it, but I guess it's more than a centimetre that I need. But I need to trim the top of this off now, and I've got a few options. The first option is to use a circular saw, but we only had two really old circular saws that are completely rusty and like really dodgy, and I don't want to go near them because they seem really dangerous. So that option's kind of out of it. Second option would be like maybe I can sand it off with like a belt sander, but I don't know. Maybe I'd have to like clamp it down. I'm a bit scared of that as well. And then third option is to buy a circular saw because I probably need one because there's been so many times that it would be really handy, but I'm also scared of them and they're expensive and I don't want to. And I've got this far without it, so surely I can keep going. So maybe I'll try with a sander. Clover does this thing where if I put my hands like this, he pats himself with them like this. And so it's quite distracting when you're really trying to think about something and then you just find a dog who's patting himself with your own hands. What about you? Yes, yes, I can't resist. Swing out like that. I'm so proud. I'm going to still put a stop on that, but look at that! It looks so good.
It looks so perfect, and I can't believe how much this space has changed with just a few simple upgrades.
I'm so proud of how this space has turned out. I can't believe it. It's been such a makeover. Even though it's just a few little changes, it feels like it's just shifted so much. And I'm really proud by my skills as well, and how far I've come as well as how far the kitchen has come.
Thanks so much to our patrons for your support on our journey.